So what we're going to do today is through our research for some of our work, we've come across quite a few studies actually about relationships and dating. And we thought we'd look at some of those studies today and talk through them because some of them are really interesting and some of them are completely pointless. But Sarah's going to be going through some today because she's been doing her research, haven't you, yourself?
Actually, what I'm going to do, because some of them we found have been quite ridiculous, is I've actually got a true or false. So I'm going to read out the study to you, and you have to tell me whether or not that is an actual study or whether I've made it up.
Okay, fire away.
Okay, so we'll start with the first one, which is, does sex act as a decongestant? Has there been a published study around a link between sex and the nose?
What?
So if you have sex, can it help relieve nasal congestion?
I would say yes, because it's basically like exercise, isn't it? I guess.
Not whether it does, whether there has been a study into it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I would imagine someone studied that because they just get bored, make up studies. So, yeah, I'm sure some sex therapist somewhere has come up with this idea and thought that'd be a good idea to get another few grand grant to go into something pointless.
Well, you're right.
Yeah, there we go.
There's correlation between sex and clearing the nose. So they use this thing called rhinomanometer, and it measures how much air,
Yeah, right on animated. Yeah, yeah.
it measures how much air passes through the nose. And they had people that were bunged up or had a partial blockage and measured how much air they could pass before sex and after sex. And then they had a control group with a decongestant, like a Sudafed. And after sex, people had more airflow than the people who had taken the decongestant.
What was the point of this?
I don't know if there's a massive point to many of these.
I just don't get the point of some of these studies. It's like, oh, we're going to set fire to elephants and see if they run. Brilliant. Well done. I don't get it. So if you're bunged up, you think, oh, I'm going to have sex
Give
then.
it to your partner and say, help me clear my nose.
Listen, for some relationships, that may be all they need is an excuse to do it, I reckon.
So moving on. Number 2, does the number of kisses at the end of a text predict relationship happiness? Firstly, has there been a study?
A study, is it just going to be yes to every single one of these? Or have you made them up? I reckon that could be quite an interesting study as these studies go. Yeah, I think there is sort of a slight bit of a correlation. I think when you don't put any kisses on the messages at all, sometimes you just send it back.
So there's never been a study into this. I made this one up.
This should be a study.
I'm surprised that this one hasn't been studied because I think you naturally will be, oh, I'm in a bit of a bad mood with them. Then you get one kiss in. And then there's an overkill. So like, what's a tipping point of how many kisses you put at the bottom of a message?
If it just goes on way too much, then unless it's in like a sort of a comical sense of actually replying, sometimes you can just send loads of emojis just to be annoying. Or I can. I think, especially in early dating as well, you can get an idea. And also, I remember doing this when you look back on text messages when relationships haven't gone well, and then you think, oh, she didn't put a kiss on that one. Yeah, no, I didn't get a kiss. That's when she must have had to change her mind and realised I was an idiot.
Or when you're like at the start of a relationship and you're texting back and forth and you get the first one that has a kiss.
Yeah,
Really exciting.
and that
It's gone.
yeah, that's once it starts. And the other one is, at what stage do you start calling someone babe or hun or whatever your name is for someone, like within that?
I've been tripped up by that before though, because I remember someone calling me hun and thinking that they liked me. And then later on, they found out they called everyone hun or darling, thinking that darling was something special.
Yeah.
Actually,
Saying that, I do know girls that call everyone babe as well. I think you're right. I think in text messages sometimes you can analyze the messages and then realize that when you think, oh, they're really into me, and then you say this to the person, but you was really into me. No, well, I just said babe and hope you have a nice day. It was more like, don't ever contact me again. Not that I was into you.
awful one, yeah. I've got a kiss at the end of every text message. Or the accidental kiss when you're writing to someone formally.
Oh, yeah, that's never good when you're doing that. Yeah.
All right, okay, so this next one. This next one made me laugh. Does arguing over what to buy in the supermarket predict whether a couple will break up? Has there been a study into it?
Um, I'm going to go with no, but there probably hasn't.
I made that one up too. I made that one up off the basis that I can recall the time with, with my parents who are still together. We got into a massive fight over tomatoes in the supermarket and which ones to buy. I then made me think that actually when you see couples in the supermarket, they quite often look really stressed out, and actually is a harmonious shopping experience better.
But that is quite interesting in terms of whether couples actually like shopping together. I'll go shopping with Zach, say, and he hates it. He can't stand going with me. It's like the equivalent of the supermarket run with Zach. He'll just go in, won't look at any prices. He just throws it all in the trolley and he's in and out in 5 or 6 minutes. I like to compare stuff, go up and down aisles. I'm there for like 35 minutes just to buy 4 or 5 things. But I think some couples like going to get food together. Others just find it a complete chore and probably do argue, a bit like going on holiday together. But whether or not it's a sign of how's people's relationships are going because they're arguing in supermarkets, I just think it's whether they're good shopping together or not.
It's your league to dominate in EA Sports Madden NFL 27. Powered by the all-new Persona engine, you can build your franchise the way you want. And to really live your entire football journey, get the MVP bundle. It comes with access to College Football 27, Madden NFL 27, plus deluxe edition rewards in both games. From campus legend to NFL superstar, make your rise with the MVP bundle. Learn more at EA.com. Rated E for everyone with mild lyrics, user interact, and in-game purchases includes random items.
Next one. Okay. Has there been a study into whether smelling your partner's sweaty t-shirt reduces your stress levels? So you had a stressful day, you smell a sweaty t-shirt that your partner's worn, and it lowers your cortisol levels.
There's meant to be something in men's sweat, though, isn't there? That is a calming aphrodisiac. I'm sure there is. It's definitely something to do with smell. So I'm going to say, yeah, that's definitely a study.
There has been a study into it. There's actually been 2 studies into it. The first one reported lower cortisol levels. The second one aggravated people more. So it's a bit on the fence with that.
In terms of what? The smell of their partner just aggravated them.
They simulated stress. So there was mock job interviews. They got them to do maths papers. And after that, some people were given a t-shirt that their partner had worn for 24 hours. The other people were given a clean t-shirt. And some people were given a t-shirt that a stranger had been wearing for 24 hours. And in the first study, the people that had their partners one, their stress lowered quickly than everyone else. In the second study, everyone else calmed down more and the others remained stressed. It's weird to think a partner's start like sweat could make you calm down.
I don't know about that. I think the smell of people might be sort of calming. If you're with people a while, you get used to certain smells, don't you? Like there's always that thing when people break up of like smelling t-shirts or perfume or the smell of like their dressing gown or whatever it may be that is quite reassuring or comforting. And I think babies as well, they know the smell of their mums and their dads, don't they? Especially when they're young.
That's a calming thing, isn't it?
Well, he's to the baby, yeah.
You could say it like that, then I can maybe understand why your partners. It was just that they said sweaty t-shirt. It wasn't just like the smell of your partner. It was it had to be a sweaty t-shirt.
I'm sure there's something with men's sweat that goes on because people do like the smell of men, don't they?
Do they?
Women. Oh, no, other men probably like the smell of men if they like men, I guess. But I think there's definitely something they're attracted to, yeah.
Okay. Right. Oh, this one's good. Does making your partner a hot drink without being asked increase overall relationship satisfaction?
I always remember this when I used to watch Love Island, which I don't anymore. They always made such a big deal out of, oh, he's made her a cup of tea in the morning. So I'm thinking, well, it's not a big deal. It was made of a cup of tea. But it was the fact that it seemed to be the guy was making a cup of tea. Like, oh, men are stupid, but he's managed to make a cup of tea and actually walk with it to give it to her. Like, I don't think if the girl had done it, they would have even thought 2 things about it at all, really. I don't really understand. So I'm sure there is a study. on it. I don't know what the big deal is. Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Because of Love Island, was it?
Of Love Island. I was just thinking about the Love Island thing there when you were talking about it, because I think it's just, say, somewhere like Love Island, they can't do very much. So they're like small controlled gestures to show someone how you care.
Signs of affirmation.
Yeah. And I was thinking, especially in long relationships, the simple, small acts of thoughtfulness are much more important because they show you're still actually considering the other person in your day to day. Yeah, it might be that you've gone long past the big grand gestures, the butterflies, all of that stuff, but you're still making a cup of tea for them.
All about the little things.
I think, anyway. And similarly, when you break up, I think it can be the little things that actually cause you to break up. Obviously, compound.
So do you think there's couples that have been together a while that are sort of sitting there, the guy will go off while they're watching telly, just come back with his own cup of tea and sit down?
100% there are people out.
No way. I don't think people would do that.
Maybe you're always someone who's made a cup of tea for someone then.
It's his courtesy.
But it's sort of small acts of courtesy, I think, that mean that you're still thinking about the other person. Whereas sometimes I think maybe in long-term relationships that have had a lot of stress, a lot of time, that you might not be considering the other person in just little ways.
I definitely think with dating with guys, from a male point of view, at the very beginning of dating, you try and sort of maintain really high standards that aren't achievable after the 3-week mark. So you don't make life easy for yourself as a guy. But at the same time, you know you can't start off the way that you would like to go on after that 3 weeks because you wouldn't get to the 3 weeks. It's kind of like, well, I'll do loads in the first week and then just see what happens. She might like me enough to stay around, but she might not. But if I don't do any of it to begin with, I'm not even going to get to the 3 weeks.
I think you said this before about relationships in your, say, 40s, 50s. Maybe you've already had a marriage or a long-term relationship. Your children are growing up more. The things you're looking for in a partner aren't necessarily the exact same things as you would, or in fact, I think they're quite different things to what you would be looking for in your 20s and 30s, or when you haven't had children, etc. That actually, that little cup of tea or coffee is really special.
I know what you mean. I think it shows that you're still thoughtful, but like even if you're not really into someone, you can still be thoughtful, can't you? Unless you are going out of your way to show that you're not thoughtful at all.
Okay.
Like you actually want to let them know that you're not really interested. So you're sitting there eating your own dinner when they just get in from work and you go, all right.
So if you're in a relationship and you want to exit the relationship, is one of the things you would maybe do start with holding a cup of tea?
No, I still just think it's a bit rude, like not to ask someone if they want one.
I think those little things are quite sweet. And I think that you sort of take a person for granted quite often when you've been together for a really long period of time. And so to me, it's important, those little acts. I mean, there was no study on this. Sorry, I've gone off on a tangent there. But I'm slightly surprised that something like this, or maybe there's a comparable one, which is like small acts of thoughtfulness related to the longevity of a relationship.
Yeah, but I think there's been stuff into sort of like all this like love language, but that seems to have died out now again, doesn't it? Because that was really massive for a couple of years. Everyone's love language, everyone was going on about it, and it was just one of those things that it had always been there, but no one had ever given it titles or words. And then all of a sudden, someone wrote a book about love language, and then everyone was like, "Oh, what's your love language?" And then everyone's just forgot about it now.
Cup of tea, that would be an act of service, wouldn't it?
I guess so. I don't know. What else you got?
Okay. So, is it true or false that scientists have studied if you can detect sexual infidelity simply from the tone of someone's voice? And that's whether they have been a cheater in the past or they are currently cheating on their current partner. It wasn't asking people if they have and they have to deny it or admit it. It was just, by the way, say we're having a conversation right now and there had been a study.
Yeah.
Giving it away there.
Yeah.
There would be a panel of people in front of us, and based on how we speak about something completely vanilla, like cups of tea, they could say that person's a cheater, that person isn't a cheater. We're going to do that Sorry.
Yeah, thanks for that. Sorry, has there been a study? Yes. Like based on what?
The tone of the voice. So it was, like I said, a panel of people who had cheated, people who hadn't cheated, and they were asked just to have completely normal conversations. And then each person on the panel, and I think there was over 150 people in the first one, graded people based on 0, never cheated in their entire life, to 10, 100% they're a cheater. And they worked it against chance, which would be 50%. And in particular with the men, they were able to predict the ones that had cheated during normal conversations. They were saying that actually it's little like inflections in your voice. Someone who's maybe comes across with a flirtatious tone, they might then say, well, that person's more likely to, because they're quite flirty in the way they speak. And even though they were just talking about very normal everyday stuff, and they were able to predict cheaters or people who have cheated. Yeah.
I'm always really skeptical of stuff like this.
Why?
Just because.
This is a scientific study.
Is it? Oh, really? But what I mean is, if you said 10 blokes in front of people, 10 guys in front of people, they would actually probably just from appearance and.
This wasn't appearance, this is just voice.
So they didn't see them.
No, just voice.
So they were like behind a black curtain or whatever it may be.
I didn't see a picture of the study.
Okay.
But it was just voice.
Oh, that'd be interesting. For the point of what?
Some of them had cheated, some of them hadn't.
No, I realise that, but they'd obviously been honest about it before they went on, saying, oh, yeah, I have. Otherwise, they wouldn't know, would they?
Yeah, to the scientists, but these people didn't know.
What have they done with this, though? Like, for like what reason?
You worried about your tone of voice?
No, absolutely not. No. I just see all this money they spend. For what point? I get it, like, trying to find a cure for an illness, but what does that actually lead to of any benefit to anyone? That's a question. I mean, it could do. I'm not a scientist, believe it or not.
They're just pointless. I don't know what you get out of it. Maybe, have you ever been with someone or spoken to someone or heard someone and you just thought, like, I wouldn't trust them? And it's something you hear in a tone of voice.
So I think it's more probably their physical appearance, and you hear them, but I think you take in a lot visually that you don't actually realise, like body language and the way they speak. I think, like you say, you can tell if someone's sort of like flirtatious, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to cheat on people. Because sometimes you find out people have cheated on other people that you think, oh, God, I never saw that. I never thought she would do that or he would do that. But you just don't know, do you?
Well, study says yes.
Okay, you do know. Apparently, you can tell by the way they're talking, which is brilliant.
Okay. Does saying K instead of okay increase relationship anxiety?
Has there been a study?
And what do you think?
I'm going to go with probably has.
Okay.
Is there?
No.
Oh, you made that one up. Yeah, I think it would, but I think if I did, it would increase because it's annoying, isn't it?
What?
Okay.
Instead of okay.
You just say the whole word. Well, it's like another letter. What's it going to cost you?
But I think that I have on occasion just fired back K or even just okay, both of them as I'm a little bit annoyed here. Probably more annoyed if I've cut off the O and just sent a K to someone.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, so there hasn't been a study, but I could see why that would increase anxiety in a relationship, because I know personally I've done it not to make the other person feel bad but as a little like, I'm a little annoyed here. Okay.
If there was someone that was annoyed at me, I would never even pick that up. And then they get more annoyed. And I would just sort of reply to it and go, okay, so I'll see you next week then. Okay.
No, but wouldn't you think that was a bit short?
Depends what the context of the whole conversation is, but I can see it raise anxiety because if it was just a flippant response to it, well, give me more than just K.
That you can't even be bothered to write.
Okay. I mean, people shorten words all the time, don't they? Different words. I don't necessarily think it's. But this is the really interesting thing about messaging or by text, whatever platform that you use, is how much you can or can't read into what people are replying to. We all try and do it as well. So, like I said, especially when sort of those breakups happen, that you have people going, "Oh, what you know?" I always see girls doing this as well, like showing each other the text. Oh, see what he says. Like, see how he's written that, and you think the guy could have, or the girl, whoever's doing it, could have been doing that whilst they were just ready to leave to go. If I send people messages, half the time I read about it, don't even make sense. Most of the words are spelt wrong. You know, it will say, "Oh, like, hope you have 2 chickens and a lift." And like, sometimes I'm even typing it really quickly and I can see it says that and I still send it because I think, I don't work it out.
What I do love about some of the messages I've had for you is exactly that. And this makes no sense whatsoever, but you completely backed it. You're just like, yep, I'll send that.
Yeah.
Words, it doesn't make sense.
And also, if I haven't got and I do this on replies to Instagram, on a lot of the posts and stuff, that when I'm replying to that, is sometimes I don't have my glasses and I can look at it and think, I know what that says. And then 2 weeks later, I'll look at it again and think, geez, I didn't know you said that. But and it's predictive text as well, isn't it? It just makes it easy where you just sort of, you're so used to sending things, but I need to concentrate on one thing at once. I can't do more than one thing. If someone's talking to me while I'm watching TV, I'll pause it or mute it. I can't have it on as well because I just can't concentrate on that, or I'm not concentrating on them. I'm not giving them any attention at all. I'll actually mute it or stop it, especially if it's a film. People that talk through films, that's another one that gets me. My mum's the worst one I watch a film with, asking questions. It's been on like 5 minutes, and you go, I'm literally watching the same as you.
All right, this is my final one, but possibly the one I think you might have the most to say about.
Go on.
Or, you know, maybe I would have a bit to say about it as well. Can scientists tell how committed you are to a partner by how much you show them off on social media? Have scientists studied the amount that a couple posts about how much they love each other on social media? And does it correlate them to how committed they are?
Is it a study? Yeah, I'd say yes.
It is a study, yeah.
In terms of the study itself, I'm always very wary of people that want to show everyone else how much they love each other.
So I wrote down a question to follow on from that to ask you, and you've got to it already, that what's more suspicious, someone who posts their partner constantly or someone who never posts anything about them at all?
They're constantly. I think some people just want to keep their private life private and keep people out. It used to be about sort of everyone showing, oh, I've got this lifestyle, I've got this, I've got this. And I think now people are more drawn to sort of just normal people talking about normal stuff. And I think that's why this podcast has done so well and other podcasts like it, because it is just people talking about stuff that people talk about normally. I think people have just got a bit fed up with the whole, I'm in Dubai every week. Or the other one that winds me up is when you see people that are constantly telling you how great their children are. And I get they're proud of them, but be proud of your kids with your kids. Like, don't use them as like sort of trophies to show off like how great you think you've done as your job. My kids are so perfect. Look, they're doing more homework when they don't need to. But that's not helping anyone. It doesn't help all the people at home that can't get their kids near a table to do homework. And don't get me wrong, it's great if your kids do that. It's great, but you don't need to tell everyone.
Do you want to know the results of the study?
Yeah, go on.
So it was true. The people who post their relationships on social media were happier than the people who didn't. So it kind of went against what I was hoping the study was going to show, which is that I'm always a bit more suspicious if someone's all over Instagram with, this is my partner, he can't do enough for me, he's so amazing. I'm always a bit like eye rolling. So I thought it was actually going to be the opposite. But it turned out that it wasn't. It was the people that were using it as a platform to outwardly show their happiness were actually inwardly more happy too.
For the period of the study.
For the period of the study.
Yeah, so yeah, probably a really bright light that lasted for 6 months and then faded because no one can.
Some of this was just over a 2-week period. There were 3 separate studies that were.
Oh gosh, yeah, exactly. It's the longevity of it, isn't it? I mean, go back in 5 years' time, and they probably none of them are together because one of them kept posting about the other one all the time being great, and it turned out he weren't great because she kept posting about it, and other girls started to DM him, and then he ended up elsewhere anyway.
I think those, again, playing devil's advocate to it, I would maybe quite enjoy, because everyone's doing it, or everyone seems to be doing it, if the partner I was with did ever post something. Well, I remember when I was married and I had just recently started the baking business, and my husband at the time, who never uses social media, had put a picture of one of the first cakes I'd done and said, really proud. I can remember being in John Lewis cafeteria and it popped up on my phone. I remember being so excited. Like, oh, wow, they're so proud of me that they've actually put it out on the internet.
I think that's very different because the reason it probably meant so much is because he wasn't always doing it all of the time. So it was almost like, well, he must be really proud of me because he's actually done something about it, as opposed to if it was like constant all the time. It just becomes like noise, isn't it?
I've never been in a relationship with someone who's actively used social media.
I think it's nice to do it occasionally. It's like we said earlier on, it's something that's got to be sustainable, because if it's that thing, that's where the questions will come in. It will be like, well, you used to put me on your Instagram all the time. I'm never on it now. I've checked through. I haven't been on it for 18 days. Before that, I was on it consecutively, like for the past 8 weeks. So it's something you've got to constantly maintain.
Maybe it's safer to never start that.
I just think you do it occasionally when you feel it's necessary. But I also think you can say that personally as well to them. Just say, look, what you've done is great.
Yes! Yes! A Lego set is a gift that always clicks. And clicks. Ooh, ooh, and clicks. For kids who love to save the day, choose a Lego set. A gift that always clicks.
Suffering from dry, tired, irritated eyes? Don't let dry eyes win. Use Sustain Pro. It hydrates, restores, and protects dry eyes for up to 12 hours. Sustain Pro. Triple action dry eye relief.
That concludes my studies.
Is that everything?
That is everything.
So I heard something. I'm going to ask you to see whether you think it's true. I heard, and I've heard this was off guys, heard this a couple of times. Do you think it's true that their partners, when returning from a night out, smelt their underwear to see if they were being cheated on them?
No.
I've heard that from a couple of people, that's what their partners did. Check their underwear because they were suspicious that they'd been cheating. Do you think that's something that you've heard happen?
No.
You've never heard any guys or women say, my partner checks my underwear, or I've heard it a couple of times and I've never experienced it, but I've always wondered if it's actually true or not, that to find out if someone's cheating after they've been out for a night, you check their underwear.
What guy?
This was a while ago, and it was from a conversation I had with one guy who just said, like, my wife just checks my underwear when I come home at night if I've been out for a night out with the boys. I was like, why? He said, like, in case I've been cheating. And it took me a while to work out, well, you put phone numbers in your pants. Like, I couldn't work out what he was getting to. And then it sort of clicked into place. But I have heard that on a couple of occasions from people. And I didn't know if it was like a secret thing that some people do and don't tell anyone.
They don't need to do that. They just need to listen to the tone of the voice.
Exactly. That's what you need to do. To record their voice at the start of the relationship, saying something like, the farmer runs through the field, and then record it again.
See if it's got more of a cheating tone.
See if it's got a cheating tone to find out. And that's the way you keep your relationship healthy. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Sarah, thank you for these pointless questions and pointless studies. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow on 50 Shades of Grey, and we will catch up with you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.